everybody. Thanks for joining me again. I am Roctavia Rose with Rock News UK, and I have the Bloody Nerve with me here today. They are based out of Nashville, Tennessee, so I got somebody here with us that's from the US today. So we're going to be learning a little bit more about them, their band, and their music and how they got started. So I'm going to kick it over to you guys. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves to your international audience?
I am Stacy Blood. I am in a band called Bloody Nerve with Lorianne Lane.
Lorianne Lane here.
I have raised in a musical family. My father was a musician in the 60s and 70s Hollywood. He's actually in the Bloody Nerve as well. He's a bass player for the Bloody Nerve.
Oh, cool.
I couldn't find a better one. I tried, but I just, it just didn't work out that way. So I had about a 10-year radio career. I worked for commercial radio for Clear Channel Radio. That's, I guess now iHeartRadio. Did afternoon drive for all kinds of formats: country, rock, classic rock, rhythmic, top 40, just about everything until I was doing a radio bit around then where I would call managers at like McDonald's and things like that, and I was on a top rated station and a very highly rated day part, so kind of the gag was everybody makes more money than I do in radio. So I would call people and just see if they would disclose how much they make, and sure enough, every time they make more than I did. So about enough of that, I decided to, go more into business, doing other things like product development, marketing. I kind of learned a lot of some of the marketing rules, demographic targeting, tons of multimedia. I did imaging and production work, lots of work with recording and lots of editing and doing the big club spots and all that stuff. So I kind of took all those skills together and so there's some things I miss about it, but it allowed me to pursue more. I've done music also even before then, going back to Texas, where I'm from. So living in Dallas and, being in the Dallas scene around about the mid 90s or so, and getting to experience all the stuff that happened there, and then moving to California around 95. So, but leaving radio allowed me to get back to really doing more of music, which is what I really wanted to do. And I think I made the decision. There were two interviews that I had that I did during our hour, and one of them was Everlast, which is a great interview, and just kind of like he's just touring, traveling around, doing his thing.
Cool guy.
Oh, really cool guy. Kind of just a troubadour. And then the other one that really made me was want to just let's leave this and get back to music. Was I did an interview with Citizen Cope as well, and that one was very cool because he was really doing it for real, and I was like, man, I gotta just sitting behind a desk in a closet just isn't cutting it,
Come on, Dewey.
Yeah, come on, Dewey. You don't want any part of this. Yeah, so that's it led me to Nashville. I had our mutual friend is a producer here in Nashville named Dave Norris, and I met him around 2001 when I lived in Fresno, which was my last era of radio, and I eventually followed him to San Diego happenstance, just not related, and then he moved to Nashville, and I moved to Nashville later. So we've been doing that since about 2010, and then he was working with Lorianne in around 2010. Well, before that, actually,
no, I was there with the floods. When the floods were going on, that's when I was like there.
Yeah, I was there. Well, no, I was there.
I was there like right before.
Yeah, right.
Like that hit. But Dave's like a really, really cool guy. I mean, obviously he hooks us up, but he's also like an amazing songwriter, producer. In Nashville, he does a lot of wonderful things, and actually he's part of this album too.
Yeah, he's been doing some
helping
us with some production work and advice.
Pretty busy, but
yeah. He's kind of like that Rick Pateo guy on YouTube.
Yeah.
What makes this song so great? He's like one of those guys. So he's just
if you haven't checked out,
that's how you guys linked up. He got you guys to
through Dave.
Yeah.
Like I was living in New York, and Stacy was in Illinois at the time.
Yeah, I was in Illinois at the time.
And
that's where I'm at. I'm in Chicago.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
girl, hey, awesome. Yeah, very cool.
So
Yeah,
you
no.
you
So,
were in Illinois, Stacy, and then you were where?
It
in New
was
York. I
yeah.
grew up in New York.
I was in Southern Illinois, like Carbondale area.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's from Dallas, but he was living there
yeah.
at the time. And when we met, so, and then we decided, he hooked us up and we started talking on the phone, and we just had so much in common, and just like music and everything. It was just insane. And I really wanted to start really getting back into music and stuff. And Stacey and I were like, well, let's just meet up in Nashville. So like we met up in Nashville, and then it was just like a wrap. It was just like the craziest thing.
I believe
It was like,
I believe
it was just like, okay, well then let's just move in together and work on music. Okay, cool. Sounds great.
Yeah.
The last time I was in Nashville, I was there to see one of my most favorite bands. And like just walking down that main strip, downtown, where I swear
Broadway.
every single bar there was an instrument hanging out of it, or a band thumping out of it, or like some sort of DJ spinning beats out of somewhere. And it was just like
Overload.
I've never had sensory overload musically before in my entire life until I found Nashville, and it was in a positive way. Wow.
Like, it's in the ice cream shop, like everywhere.
In the candy store.
In the shoe store, like.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, I mean, you can go to a mini mart and the guy pulls out a guitar and he's picking like a son of a bitch, It's a better guitar player than me.
Yeah.
And they're getting my tire changed, and then
right.
Yeah. And well, a lot of businesses will. I don't think it's so much anymore. I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time in Nashville proper in a while. We live out in the country a little bit out from there.
About 45 minutes now.
But for a long time, businesses would double as a regular business that has nothing to do with music, and at night would be a venue because there's enough music, and there's people are always looking for a unique place to go and watch music, and it's kind of lost some of that charm in Nashville. It's become really commercialized. I do believe there was a crane shortage in the United States. I think this is a true story. Most of the construction cranes were in Nashville.
It's really it's insane. Anytime we have to drive into Nashville, we're just looking around like, what?
Oh no.
Like it's constant building, and it's like, how are they even gonna fill these places? Like it's insane.
Yeah. Or like Colorado when they first legalized it, like there were just like cranes. I swear, I'm like, that's gonna be your state bird, crane.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Right, exactly, the crane.
I think memorized all of the brands of building insulation that are available because that's all you saw was incomplete buildings with insulation. So I got to know them very well. But yeah, tons of construction.
Tons of people moving here from California.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, that's also another thing. Like there's a mass exodus from California to Nashville.
Yeah. I remember when I left in 2009. I was so happy because even then, and I was in the San Diego area, and it was just impossible. The cost of living, and the weather's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I like being out where there's not so many people.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I mean, I lived in every metropolis. I lived in Dallas, Fort Worth. I lived in Los Angeles area. Did a lot of business around there. Nashville area. I'm done. She was in New York, so
concrete jungle.
Yeah. I'm in the second city, so I get it. Like I need a city. I'm kind of a city girl. True. I need some city, but I agree with you guys. I need some green space. I need to be able to go and decompress and like sit by water somewhere. Just
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Being far enough to be away from everybody, but close enough to enjoy the city stuff.
There you go. Exactly.
And to have your neighbors like at a good, just close enough.
At a good distance.
Yeah.
Further than spitting distance. A good deal further than spitting distance.
Yeah, we have good neighbors.
Yeah.
So musically, what made each of you decide to follow that path? What was the jumping off point for you coming up?
Well, with me, it was either grow up or don't grow up. So I figured not to grow up.
Don't grow up, it's a trap.
Really. No, with the music, I think really with me it was it wasn't so much of a career option or that I wanted to do it for a living, because I actually don't really. I just do it for the music.
For the creative part.
Yeah, because I thought early on, I mean, and I knew plenty of people that made a living with music, including my own father, and it's just there's lots of concessions and a lot of compromises that are bad that you have to make. And I know all about record deals and all that stuff, and that's not anything that I've ever had any interest in having.
Well, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, they're not throwing money around. It's like back in the day, they give you advances, and if they broke your career, whatever, because at least they give you advances. It's like I follow the Pottery Barn rule: if you're going to break it, you're going to pay for it. But they don't want to pay for it.
But
so,
they don't take the time to nurture an artist.
Oh no, they want something that's already done, which is fine. I don't have a problem
It's just
with
a
that.
different world.
Yeah, that's the business they're in, and that's fine. I don't consider us in that business.
But that's when it was like glamorous. That's when it was like cool, like, yeah, I'm signed to RCA,
Yeah.
Right.
And like, they're taking the time to like work on this one artist because they believe in it,
and they tolerated all your bullcrap.
Yeah, right. And they invested in you. And it's not like that anymore, but that was the beautiful time. It was like the old Hollywood, it was like the old days of, music.
Woo! Just hit a nerve, old Hollywood.
Oh yeah, right?
And the old music industry days, and
Yeah,
it's a totally different animal. With the disappearance of the physical unit changed everything.
That's true. Things seem a bit more mechanical. I think that's the best way to phrase it. Like you're saying, like the nurturing, and I don't want to sound too cynical, but
I'm gonna sound cynical.
Go for it. Own
you
it.
Might as well.
Own it.
You're in good company, girl.
So, okay, here's the thing. Like, it's gonna be cliche. The magic just isn't there anymore. At times, the way they have people just process and churn things out. My favorite thing is when a musician gets to be in their own element and put something out from their heart. That's why it's hard for me to criticize bands, because I know if there's a musician out there that's sitting there writing in their little notebook that's like, dog-eared and creased, and like they're writing on napkins and they're trying to put something out from inside instead of just letting something write for them or something churn something out. It's kind of hard for me to criticize that, because it's not as easy as people think. That's the realness. The realness isn't as easy when it comes from here. You know what I mean? When it's not pre-processed, when it's not like processed cheese. Like, I don't know. I'm rambling.
That's actually a good way to describe it.
It really is, though.
Except I like actual cheese.
I actually like cheese.
But I mean, but you have to also consider. I mean, and I would never say that I sympathize with the big three or major labels or anything like that. But in one way, I can kind of see an outgrowth of what young people, young artists, they don't really know how to be artists anymore, because there hasn't been any examples in a long time to show them how to do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think there's anything anybody, and I'm, shaking my cane here, get off my lawn. I don't, there's nothing really anybody under the age of 35 could say that I would be remotely interested in at all. I don't know what you would have to say that that's going to be this awakening to me, or I could even relate to. It would be far and few between. I'm not saying they're not there. They certainly very well.
And they have their audience.
Or they don't know how to get an audience, or maybe they're just not the flavor of the month looking sounding thing.
There's an audience for everybody.
But this is where we run into an impasse. Is you've never had an artist that also has money and business savvy. Okay, there used to be the labels and investors for that. So now, I mean, they pretty much just the label and the investor, like the money. Okay. It's on their firm, so they're going to look for who they want to look for. They want a very low,
a guarantee.
They want to bring it to market for as little as possible, which I totally get. I'm not even complaining about that.
Yeah.
What I'm complaining about is that nobody really has the balls to venture into uh, some other area where, well, maybe they do. Yeah, I mean, I'm still on the fence with things like Spotify because I think they can be helpful. But I just think it isn't. I think what I'm trying to say, it isn't immediately obvious to an actual artist that may not have business savvy, that may not have money. And let's face it, some of the best artists are kind of broken people anyway. Right?
Or they just want to be famous.
Yeah, you know,
and they don't care. They're like puppets.
Yeah, so it's like, where's their outlet? Where do they discover? Where do they find how to get into the business and be a business?
You know, I'll sing. That's what pretty much what the big labels want is someone that they can mold. Is someone that can say, hey.
Either that or that's already done all
song,
the work.
Yeah,
that already has the big following.
Exactly.
And then by that point, why do you need them?
Exactly. Or we have our songwriters. Here's a song you're going to sing. You're going to dress like this. You're going to sound like this, just like everything else, like everybody else, because that's what's selling, and it's about money. I mean, it's just the
deep sigh.
That's why you're here talking to us right now. You like the underground stuff. You like that, you know. I mean, the real deal. So it's just kind of like, but hey, you know, it's just, that's life. That's the way business works. You know, it works for them. It works for those types of people. It doesn't work for people like us because we say what we want to say. We don't have a problem of offending anybody or any kind of label. We don't, you know, we're not afraid of offending our Walmart distribution. We're not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's when we're dangerous. That's when you're dangerous. That's when you could say what you want to say and be who you are and be real and be raw, have a message, you know, and that's when it's fun. That's when it's creative because it's you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not singing someone else's song. You know, you're saying what you need to say and what you want to say. That's being creative is the fun part.
That's the sexy part.
Hey, girl, we're all about sexy. We're all about sexy. You bring the sexy.
Well, we certainly don't bring the money. I can tell you that.
Hey,
you gotta bring
something. On that note, which musical artist inspired you most growing up?
Wow. Well, let me start because I know he's got a long list. But you know, for me, I got into music because my dad was a singer. Like he was not a professional singer, but he had this beautiful voice, and he was really into the crooners and you know the Elvis, and he was just absolutely amazing. So he inspired me to want to get more into singing and evolve, you know, as a singer and stuff. And he got me, you know, he's the one that like introduced me to rock really, you know, being at home. He had like this small stash of vinyl. He had like, you know, Blondie, Rod Stewart, Boston, Queen, Humble Pie, you know, just like Deep Purple, like, hey, like, you know, just like amazing band. I'm like, wow, it's a small collection, but it's a good collection. And it was a nice introduction, you know, through my dad. So, you know, I used to listen to that all the time at home. And then, you know, as I got older and, you know, I started digging deeper as a teenager, you know, I got into Zeppelin, huge Zeppelin fan, you know, Bowie, U2, Def Leppard, you know, it was around that time, like about 15 or, you know, 16, I was really deep into that, you know, and Cream, can't forget Cream, it's one of my favorite bands ever.
Woo!
Yeah, like, right? So, and then, you know, I got really into like big vocals, like big female vocal artists. You know, back in that time it was like Mary J, Anita Baker, Mariah Carey, you know, Whitney, Annie Lennox, Bonnie Raitt. I mean, Tina, you know what I mean? Like it just goes on. And they were just fantastic. I'm like singing along to these artists. And, you know, so that's really kind of like where I got my vocals started to take shape from listening to all these artists, you know, and of course you had the grunge, you know, Lane Staley, my favorite, awesome, amazing, you know, so singing along to all these artists. And like I said, my vocals really started to take shape there. And that's when I started to get involved in going out and saying, I think I could start getting work as a singer, you know, songwriter or whatever can come my way, whatever I can get, you know, I'm going out there and doing it. So yeah, rock and roll, grunge. I'm still in the grunge phase. Like that's never gonna go away.
That one never goes away.
That never goes away. That's
guilty. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, and of course Jeff Buckley, big fan. But Stacey, let's let's get into the.
Yeah, what's up, Stacey? How about
I'm going to be as concise as possible.
I mean, I tried to be as concise as possible.
Pretty dysfunctional. Well, with me, it was rock really was being an 80s child. I was a massive Def Leppard fan when Pyromania came out. So there was the rock, there in that era, and then probably when I really got into like rock and playing was in high school, and that would have been when Nevermind came out. When that we were just rock, just the avalanche just in the 90s. So White Zombie, always dug them for that time. I would say probably it's had a huge impact on me is Corrosion of Conformity. I'm a huge COC fan. I mean, Pepper Keenan is my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Period. And still to this day, I'll weave in and out of COC phases. Ever since I was 17 years old. So
we saw them recently. Amazing.
Yeah, we saw them here in Nashville. So I think I've seen them like 5 or 6 times.
They're on tour, but they're not stopping here.
Yeah. I guess the new thing is play every city but Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah. To work in that.
Yeah, they probably had an issue.
But I went into it big. When I was about 18, I started really doing a historic dive back into the 60s and 70s, and then back 50s and going to blues. And then a friend of ours, Paul Mary, who's a blues historian, got me into like way deep, like well down on the iceberg blues, like below the sea waterline.
He goes way back.
Yeah, I mean, like, did you know the blues goes back to the 1700s? It does.
Okay.
It's weird. It's pretty. It's a cool. Actually, I have the book here.
You have to just look at it.
I'm just plugging this book because
I might actually have to hey guys, shoot that to me so I could see.
It's this.
I'll forget.
It's America's Gift by Paul Mary. And what's great, what I love about it is that the way he wrote it is just it's kind of this expository. Just goes on and on. A lot of authors try to impress you with how smart they are and all that stuff. It's just bare bones facts. It just goes another.
It's like bam, bam,
it's
bam,
page turn.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Even going back to some of the blues scales coming from the Middle Eastern slave trade and things like that, the way it bounced continents over and again. It's amazing, just the journey that where before it ever became blues proper, like Robert Johnson blues,
right,
a whole other thing, but it had its genetic movement.
Isn't that Stonepipe? That's not Stonepipe?
I don't know what that is.
That's the guy. That's the first blues guy, Stonepipe.
No, I can't see anything.
I'm showing you. You can't even see.
Yeah,
none of us can see right now.
America's Gift by Paul Mary. But yeah, so going through all of that, and then. I had a massive Dylan phase, the obligatory Dylan phase.
Yep.
The band.
Oh, well, I'm a huge band fan. Okay, I love the band. I think it was like a few years ago, I was looking at my iTunes back before I installed it.
The band.
I was looking at my 2 most played albums, and it shocked me because you never really, and this is after about 12 years of having that program on my computer. My 2 most played albums, and I would have never guessed what they were, was the Brown album by the band and The Wall by Pink Floyd. I don't know. I don't know where it all came from, but those are my 2 most played albums. And it was crazy. I was like, man, I would have thought it would have been something, maybe like a Beatle record or something like that. And it wasn't. So that's kind of the musical journey. And I started playing guitar in I think my junior year of high school.
Okay.
I'm still about as good as I was when I started when I was.
He is just so full of it right now.
I still have the same warm-up lick as when I was
that was great. And thanks for the book. I'm glad this is being recorded because I know I'd forget my middle name if you leave it up to me. But yeah, I'm gonna check that back out, rewind and check it back out. Thank you for that. So I have to ask you, what was the process in coming up with your band's name? I have some idea, but elaborate.
Okay. Well, do you want to start it off?
Well, I mean, there's a simple track to it, but basically we needed what was funny is we were working on each other's solo projects at the time.
when we moved to
Yeah, she was doing her thing, and I was doing my solo thing with Dave, was producing David Norris.
Right.
Mutual friend.
So when we moved in together, I was doing started doing background vocals on Stacy.
I was stealing her all the time. Oh, I gotta get Lori on backup vocals on this one.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, I need Big Bertha on background vocals, and I'm like, oh, and then so we did that for a while, and then
about a year and a half.
Actually, for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then Stacy was like, we were both just kind of like, what are we doing? Like, let's start a freaking band.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing? Let's quit screwing around.
Yeah, and that's when his father
put them together.
Yeah, that's when his dad came in to play bass. And then it all started from there. But the band's name, actually, Stacy's last name is Blood.
Mm-hmm. Which is a kick-ass last name.
It's like, right? Like, it's like, is that a fake name? Am I real? Yeah. So everyone that talks to him, it doesn't matter who he talks to on the phone or whatever, like, wow, that's really cool, So we decided, well, why don't we work around that, So we started.
And it just fit because, we're at that point in life, we just don't give a shit anymore. We just don't. We're not trying to impress anybody, or we're not saying, I wonder if we should not do that. It's like, oh, yeah, we should, and we're going to. So it was like, so it just fits the bloody nerve. And also it just fit because my grandfather was in World War II. I'm really dating myself on this interview. He was in the South Pacific, so he spent a lot of time in New Zealand. And so he used to walk around the house and put on a like a British accent, and so he would say bloody this and bloody that. So I was like, oh, that's great. It reminds me of Bald Baba. So that was good too.
And older people make the best music.
That's right.
It's okay if we're dating ourselves.
That's all right. I don't care.
All right. So have you guys gotten a chance to gig a whole lot? And if you have, can you tell me, as a band, what's been your most favorite experience?
No, I haven't really been able to do much of that. We've had a pretty splintered band since the beginning. We had a fire completely wipe out our home and studio in 2014. We barely made it out alive.
Oh, wow.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was mixing one of the songs.
Honey.
Yeah, Local Honey, Saved Our Life. I was mixing that song, and I just gave it up at about 2:30 because one of the million times I gave it up.
I smelled smoke.
Yeah, we went to bed and was late, and so smelled smoke. And the next thing, within the next 45 seconds, it's everyone running around crazy. Someone set fire, I guess, is what we had heard.
Someone was going around the area setting fire. And
we had lived above a bar, so we were living above this place in Ashland City, and it went up, and it was an old building, so it was like
it went up like a matchstick.
It was like kindling. It was basically holding hands. It wasn't even a building. So it just went up really fast. We barely made it out. I got that Les Paul back there, the wine red one, and my Vibrolux amplifier and my my Gibson Hummingbird acoustic. That's what I made it out with. Everything else.
And the cats.
And the cats. We had just adopted 2 kitties.
God, you got the cats out too.
Oh, that was first.
Yep.
The X's and the cats.
That's all we got. We got the cats, we got us, we got our neighbors up and awake, and a couple pieces of gear in my hard drive because that was my work in my life. So I ripped that out of the computer.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That happened.
That happened, and then we had to spend time in Illinois recovering, and we got our place out here in Dixon in 2015.
Well, my dad passed away.
And that happened just a few months after that.
Fire.
And we were in Illinois, and she had to go all the way out to Colorado. And that was terrible. And so.
But thank God we had Stacy's parents not so far away in Illinois, so we were able to travel there.
Well, we literally finished Taste in the basement.
We did.
Of that place. We had to completely reconfigure everything. We had lots of friends get us new gear. And
we had a GoFundMe. Yeah, we had a GoFundMe going on. So we got some good gear.
Guitar Center gave us like a 70% discount on everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was amazing.
So cool.
There's definitely something to be said about the resilience of creative people. Because, man, wow, you guys have been through it.
Oh, man. yeah, but thank God for good people.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That everybody out there, seriously, one good thing, you may not think it has that big of an effect, but it does. It has a lasting domino effect. So spread kindness out there.
Yeah.
Does,
and it made it that album just way more powerful. I mean, it was XR Baby, and You know, I dedicated the album to my dad. Thank God he got to hear the songs before he passed. And we were able to finish it, you know, thanks to the help of everyone in Nashville. And we're just really surrounded by really good people that care, and they really love rock and roll, and they wanted to see us be able to finish the album, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
So
hopefully you'll have a lot more opportunities in the future, especially like hopefully we get back around to normality at some point or close to it, so you guys can like play live.
Yeah, I mean, we're really getting on that track right now because we're seeing that things might, you know, change. I mean, even if we have to do like a southern tour, that's what we'll do. You know, I mean, we could go and tour Texas for a summer. There's lots of places in Texas, you know, so, you know, we would love to go out to the UK because we've got a lot more support in the UK than we have.
We have a lot of friends.
Well, that was our plan in the first place. I mean, we wanted to market in the UK. I mean, we appreciate the audience a whole lot more in the UK. It's a lot more diverse in the UK.
They're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun. And
time.
And they appreciate what we do. You know, we like to support who appreciates what we're doing. So
they get it.
Yeah.
Basically.
They're open to a lot of things, and here it's just such a gigantic, overblown beast of a market. So there really is no vehicle or mechanism to do it like you can do it in the UK.
Yeah.
So
we have good friends there. We have a lot of fans there. We've got great support there.
Yeah.
You know, we've been getting a lot of airplay. It's great. We hope to get more. But you know, this project just started. You know, Taste, going back to our debut, you know, we went through a lot of issues with that. And we also had an issue with our aggregator at the time, to the Orchard. We were signed to the Orchard. And
they kind of disappeared on us. So we lost control of our catalog for
6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. It basically killed the entire
momentum. Like everything was shot down.
Yeah, we couldn't do anything at that point.
And then after 8 months, we were able to upload. So we're like, oh, at least it'll be online.
Yeah, it's online.
If anyone has to go back, you know, it'll be there. You know.
Get back to work, making more music.
Yeah.
Keep on making it.
So when everything comes around to that point, what would the ultimate tour look like for you? Like,
the ultimate tour for me would be like being on tour with COC and Killing Joke at the same time.
Yes, I'm down with that.
For a lot of money.
Or not. I just want to be on tour with COC and Killing Joke. They're amazing.
No, I think I don't know. I've never even thought what would be a perfect scenario. I just to get out and just start doing it and just start, you know, performing the record. And what's, you know, this record is episodic, so it's kind of, it's going one act at a time. We're releasing a whole album on a time release, and really it's not even really a time release.
Well,
we're making it as we go.
We're making it as we go. I mean, we have the bare bones, like we have the demo versions, but we're like actually recording and doing everything as we go. And there's 4 acts, so there's like 12 songs in total.
As far as we know right now.
For right now, I mean, that can change.
Exactly,
I mean, anything can happen, but we're releasing them on CDs, like 3, you know, at a time. So it's 4 acts, CDs, and then, which is limited edition. And at the end, hopefully everything goes well and we get enough, you know, selling enough merch and we get enough money coming in. You know, we see that it's like taking off, then we'll make a vinyl. We'll probably do a short run, you know, and then
vinyl would be great.
Vinyl would be awesome, you know. But
if we're making a vinyl, that means this all worked.
Right.
So,
you know, because cut that. I mean, that costs money.
Oh yeah, that's a big investment.
That's a big investment.
Which is okay, but you know, it's hit or miss as music is. You know, now if there was a tour, we would definitely get a cut because then you can sell them at the merch table. So,
I mean,
that's
totally
easy because you have an outlet for it. It's trying to market it, you know, without that kind of vehicle. So with us, it's either, you know, we can either, you know, fund it, or if we get on the road, then we'll do it.
But I mean, like, I think Stacey's right. If we were to, a dream team tour would be definitely COC. I mean, and Killing Joke. I mean, very influential in what we do. I mean, those guys are just so down to earth, so raw, badass.
And they stand the test of time.
They stand the test of time. You know, I mean, it's inspiring, and yeah, that would be the ultimate. Right now, that would be the ultimate gig.
I hope they got that.
We're gonna tag them to the
You've been served notice.
Yeah. We might
So,
do a
what do you guys tend to do to like decompress and like for fun to wind down?
music.
What is
So you wind down from music to music.
Decompress. What does that mean? Let's define. Yeah. No. Actually, we have kitties. We have 3 kitties that are like pawing at the door right now, trying to get in here. They're like, we hear Roctavia, let us in.
Yeah. They have.
If I was there, I would be like all about it. Yay!
You're like, step aside, bloody nerve. Kitties. Yeah. You would, because they're amazing. You have amazing pets.
Yeah, they're great.
And we do that. I mean, you know, we have a house, so it takes a lot of work keeping a house, you know.
Yeah, we're out in the country. We have a couple acres.
We have a couple acres.
I get to, pop on the old hat in the work tunes and go spend about 3 hours mowing.
Yeah, he takes care of the land.
That's what I do. I like it. It's like a meditation. I like just getting on the mower and going for about 2-3 hours.
Yeah, he throws like a podcast on and just
throw on a
mows.
podcast.
You know, takes about an hour or so to mow 2 acres.
It's not 3 hours.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And I mean, I take care of the house. I mean, it's just like a full-time job, it's like cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry. I mean, it's like normal life,
Well, that's what we wanted to do, to like be normal people, live normal lives, and do music. Because it's like, I mean, there's not much interesting about people that only make music, because there is no life context there, really. I think that's why I'm so partial to blues music, particularly early blues music, is because those are actual people going to work every day and living a life and telling you what life is like, instead of, what do you really learn about life from a group that has a party playing from coast to coast every day of their life? I can't relate to somebody like that.
Yeah, experiences, whether it's good or bad. Usually bad makes for the best songs.
Well, the good ones lived a lot of life before they got to that point, and it's reaping the benefits. But anymore, it's just like posing, pretty much. There's really nothing to learn or anything to get out of it. I don't hear lyrics and I'm like, oh man, I never hear that.
Yeah, we're still into lyrics. We're still into melodies and hooks and solos, which is like not a popular thing that much anymore. But we're into all of that. That's not coming.
I think the old question, that went back to the to the mid 60s. Yeah, man, what do they have to say? What are they saying?
Yeah, what's their message?
That's what was important, is what do they have to say? And now, literally, nobody asks that question, because literally either nobody cares or they don't even know to ask that question. But again, we're in an environment where imitation is considered artistic achievement. Where, oh wow, I was able to imitate that thing that I like and hear every day so well. I'm a success. I'm like them.
Right.
And so I think that's where
that.
There's some very simple problems. It isn't very complex. It's simple, I think.
Well, yeah.
These are things I think deep into the night, Roctavia.
Yeah.
So. And also things like, why do they call a banana, but or an orange, but not a banana a yellow? It's like
yellow.
Things just boggle the mind.
But I was curious about the video. I think that's what caught our attention for Roads. And like what the process was with like writing that and then shooting that video. So that kind of piqued my interest. So like tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, the song started around November. We started writing a lot of this in about 2019. Some of it goes back to 2016 years, but it's kind of a mongrel. We just kind of ended up with some bits and pieces of songs that fit with an album or didn't, and this thing started to come together. The overall overture and the overall message of all of it just fit together, all of it. And Roads actually was written in November of 19, and the demo was made in November of 19. So it was really weird that it was only about 3 months later that COVID started. So the lyric really, I remember around March and April of 20 just feeling really weird because of that song laying around and working on that song, and everything was so eerie, and our our whole way of life was under attack, and it's just one of those things. And it's just so that song, it's gotten better. I don't feel like that way about it now.
I mean, plus we had songs that we were writing together that we, once the pandemic hit, we were like, okay, yeah, we know what we're gonna do here. But we were writing, we didn't know whether we were gonna release the music or release an EP or release an album. Like, we really didn't know. We just wanted to really just get back to it and just have fun with the creative process, because that really is the most exciting part for us, really, and so we didn't really have any plans to do anything until the pandemic hit, and then we were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We got some material, okay.
Yeah, and it all just kind of glued together with that, and that's what created the concept of All Blood No Treasure. And what it is, we just wanted to do kind of an archetypal descent from a more individual type of society to a dystopian collectivist type of nightmare, and that's kind of what the album follows. It's nothing that's never been done before, but I think something that should always be done and be done repeatedly, because I think, like a lot of important stories, it's a story that has to keep being told, else we forget, due to the the horrors of the 20th century that are becoming forgotten now, and we're wanting to rediscover them again. Great. So with that, so the video, we just wanted to do something that was more like, Lori, we're still kind of developing the characters of the visuals of the album. It is kind of.
We have a lot of ideas of what we kind of want to do. We're like, every day we're like coming up with a new character, like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, and then we make cards of the characters and do like all this really cool stuff, and kind of like have that little psychedelic kind of thing that that's kind of like who we are. We're kind of trippy and
we just want
kind of crazy. So
hit it with visuals.
We think visuals are really important, but we wanted to also keep it really simple and keep it within our means. We're not really like, we're gonna go hire a team, spend $20,000 to shoot this video. Like, it's all about being creative and doing DIY. We're all DIY here, which is really important.
We're an army of two, and we have been for about 7 years
since the get.
Yeah.
And we just really enjoy creative, and it's just so much fun for us. Like, I mean, I think even if we did have anyone else involved, it would really take us time to adjust to that.
Oh yeah, it would.
I mean, it would be brilliant.
What do you mean you have an idea?
Yeah, like, idea? Let's see about that, But yeah, I mean, we did everything ourselves. I did his makeup. I made the jackets for the photo shoot.
Photo shoots, the jackets are there.
For the roast.
They'll be playing more of a part moving forward.
Yeah. The killer. And then we had the angel and the devil, and that was really trippy. That angel, that was fun doing.
Yeah, I almost wanted it to appear, because it is kind of almost with in A Million Arms, Lori Ann kind of plays the antagonist revolutionary, and so with Rhodes, we kind of wanted to reprise that role a little bit, and it was almost like we wanted it to be a real twisted children's show, that like something that's very nefarious in nature, which is just kind of an expression of a lot of things today. And just overall bad messaging. We're littered every day with horrible messaging, just terrible messaging. And we just kind of wanted to do something like that, kind of what we see every day, and in media, and just give it some nice visuals and makeup and all that stuff. I think we used 2 cameras on that.
Yeah, it was real simple.
Yeah, it was really easy.
It was just kind of time consuming with the getting everything kind of like set up. But other than that, it was a blast to do. We had so much fun making it.
It looked like a good time.
Yeah. That's the fun part.
Right. So on that note, I know, like we've been talking about for majority of everything, like we're kind of on this nice little uphill uptick. Like things are kind of getting a little bit better and improving. So do you guys have any other projects that are on the docket for the Bloody Nerve? Like, is anything that you can tell me about coming up being to be released now, or?
Well, I mean, we're basically always busy in production at this point. So, I mean, like, we started working on Act 2, like, right when Rose was released. So, and we've already got one track from Act 2 done. So, I mean, we're going to be going faster and faster with this as we go, as we start to realize what we're doing.
We got new gear too.
Yeah, we got some new gear, and,
Okay.
and which makes things easier.
Yeah,
But we also learned some things because nobody's really ever done this that I know of. There isn't a manual for releasing an album like this. So one of the challenges is, well, wait a minute. Okay, well, we released an album in June of 20. Well, by March of 21, I'm a little bit better at mixing and stuff by that point, and I'm better, and we're better at playing, and there's new gear, and maybe we feel a little differently about things, and there's all kinds of environmental changes. It's just kind of like, you know, if you take a photograph at a certain time of day and you say, oh, I want to redo that, wear the same clothes, go out there with the same makeup, it's not the same.
Right.
So that's kind of trying to keep everything cohesive in the production realm over a large expanse of time, and even in a variety of different environments. It's challenging to keep it all together like an album, but you know, it is working. But I didn't really account for that. I had to really pay attention.
But he's doing everything, Roctavia.
100%.
He's mixing, he's producing, I mean, he's writing. I mean, it's like
Somebody help.
Somebody help, you know. And I mean, you know, I mean, I'm helping out with the video stuff and doing makeup and, you know, clothes, and, you know, I do my part, but it's just like, you know, I can't help him with, I mean,
you do all the time. You got great ears.
I mean, my ears are good.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, there's lots of mixing.
My ears are good, but
mine get fried after a while. So I'm like, do you hear this stupid thing?
And I'm like hearing things that he's like, I don't hear that. I'm like, how can you not hear that? I'm like, you know, it's like this process. It does take time, but I mean, it is pretty stressful for Stacey, because he's really taking on. This is a big project. And
yeah, I was kind of like wondering, like, where do you start when everything is just done by you? It's just you guys.
Yeah. It's been that way forever. It's been that way for a long time.
A long time.
Yeah. And listening to the ADing and all that, and then, you know.
Well, and also listening to a lot of different kinds of productions.
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, over and over.
Over and over and over again. Well, yeah.
See, when you're really good at that, you don't have to.
You don't have to hear the song a million times.
How bad you are at that is directly proportionate to how many times you've had to listen to it.
Well, thank God I like our music. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, it saved our life. Local Honey.
Actually, it did save our life. Local Honey saved our life. He was mixing it at 2:30 in the morning.
So we're coming to the end of our time together, which it went by really fast. Thank you for being so patient as my Zoom was fighting me yet again.
I do a good bit of stuff on Zoom, and not one meeting ever not has someone having a problem with
We're actually doing pretty good here.
Well, yeah, this actually was pretty flawless.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about the lack of buffering, and like it was smooth as butter. I'm enjoying it.
Well, part of what helps is I've got an insanely fast upload stream. It's like 16 kbps or mbps or something like that. So
thank you for that. I see that gaming chair, so
this is my comfort. Don't throw out my back chair is what this is. I have a compressed L5S1, so I have to be really that's from skateboarding, by the way.
Oh yeah, hey, you used to skate.
Skater boy.
Cool. Nice.
Had I been better, I would have a more healthier carcass.
Yeah. Anything that I could do to like probably fall down and hurt myself, I've done. So I'm right there with you. Like I've been an ice skater, inline skating, skateboarding, roller skating,
fighting.
I wanted to do motocross, but my mom was like, absolutely not. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's a good way to end up with that.
Yeah. For sure. Oh God.
That was actually the first question when I found out years ago about my compressed L5S1. He said, "Did you play football?" I said, "No." He said, "Did you do a lot of motocross, by the way?" because I guess a lot of motocross, they end up with compressed vertebrae from the landing all the time. So be glad you didn't do that.
I guess. But yeah, so like I usually like to cap things off with like a really weird, kind of strange question that somewhat relates to the band, but is kind of fun. So taking into account that your last name is Blood and the band's name is The Bloody Nerve, I had a weird question for you guys. What is your favorite vampire movie out there, if you have any?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I like a lot of them. Actually, Interview with the Vampire.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
We just watched that the other day, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
And I, of course, Aaliyah, and what was that?
Was it Queen of the Damned?
Yeah, I mean, I know it was kind of like cheeseball, but I mean, I think she was brilliant in it. And of course, like he's got Korn doing the vocals and all that. So it's kind of, you know, it was cheesy, but it was kind of cheesy, like in a good way. But Interview with the Vampire was kind of like, wow, I haven't seen that in like 15 years or something.
I know. Yeah, we kind of rediscovered it. It's like,
and we just
this is a lot better than we remember.
Yeah,
Some
like
movies
one of my
age
most
well.
favorite movies. I don't know, there's something about Brad Pitt with long hair. Who else was in that? Was that Antonio Banderas?
Yes, and Tom Cruise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Really good actors there.
Yeah. Christian Slater was in it too.
I went to, yeah, exactly. Christian Slater, good actor too.
Yeah, and oh, what's her name? I can see your face. She's a really good actress.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst as a tiny Dunst.
Yeah. She was so good though.
She's an amazing actress. So good in that movie.
Fantastic in that movie. Yeah, she was a little
yeah, that's one of my favorites. And recently I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh,
that's the other one. Yeah.
Oh, we just got that on DVD.
Yeah. I love Gary Oldman. I'm a dork and I love Harry Potter, and I was just like,
Harry Potter. Anytime I'm like feeling like under the weather, I'm like, he's like, want Harry Potter? I'm like, yep, throw it in.
You two can get together and go bowling.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah, I love to bowl. I love bowling. Yes.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready for some strikes. You know.
All right.
I'm good. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to roll.
Do it with Big Lebowski-ness.
Thank you. Bram Stoker's. I love Gary Oldman. He's an amazing. He's my favorite actor.
Yeah. Now, Keanu, on the other hand.
Ouch!
Not the best performance.
He was
in
exhausted, though.
Yeah, I know. It's like really. Yeah.
He was.
Oh, you know.
Don't get me wrong. I love me some Keanu. He's a wonderful.
Oh yeah, that was. I'm a Keanu fan, but that one, I have an idea. If you asked him about that movie, he wouldn't want to talk about it.
He'd be like, next question.
Everyone has those movies.
Don't want to go there.
Yikes.
It's just like but Lost Boys too.
Lost Boys, yes, that's another one of my favorite. Blade.
I have that on repeat here.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that.
June loves the soundtrack. Every time it starts playing,
every time he's there with that saxophone.
Yes.
Oh man.
There's something about metal saxophone playing. Like yes.
Baby oil on.
That you're all greased up and it's metal.
Come on. I mean, that's just pure sex right there.
Too cool, man. Too cool.
You guys have been an absolute dream.
Oh.
Thank you so much for your time. This has been fun. Hopefully, as we go on here, I get to travel more and come to more shows, and maybe at some point we can link up in like that bowling thing and talk music and stuff like that.
Definitely, anytime.
But so everybody out there, if you have a chance, go ahead and check out The Bloody Nerve, everything that they have out there. I'm gonna throw the floor over to you guys if you want to leave us with your handles and sign off with our audience. So the floor is yours.
Sure. Yeah. Make sure and come to our website at thebloodynerve.com. We've got our store. We love doing merch. We've got all kinds of great stuff. We like to make products. We got T-shirts. We've got soaps, designer soaps that we've formulated. We've got a magic mug. Oh, it's not hot anymore.
It's not hot anymore, so it went dark. So
yeah. Whenever you put hot coffee or hot tea in there, it
shows our mug
color.
Yeah,
it has our mug shop.
Yeah, our mug shop comes up.
Oh yeah.
The logo and everything. It's really cool. And I've got a vinyl record cleaner protector that I designed.
Oh, actually, Lucky Diamond.
Yeah, there it is. Lucky Diamond vinyl record cleaner.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. I put this on my vinyls as soon as I get them to protect and make sure they last a long time.
We just got like 4.
And it cleans really well.
We got a Killing Joke haul of like 4 albums.
Yeah, we had
to
size up our Killing Joke collection a little bit, and we got Pylon and the debut Killing Joke, Pandemonium, Absolute Descent.
And we got another one on the way.
Good stuff. Yeah, we got their 2003 on the way too. So it was one of those things. We went to go get Pylon, and then it was like,
how can you like just not order?
Okay, just take all of my money. Take it all.
We can find you guys on Spotify too, right?
Oh,
yeah. You want to follow us on Spotify, stream us. We put playlists out. We just started putting playlists together too, so we're making some fun playlists. And you can check out all this stuff on Facebook as well, and more platforms coming too. So we're really wanting to spread our wings and experiment with other modes of reaching our audience and having a good time with that. So that's pretty much it. Now we appreciate everybody for bearing through it
and hanging out. Yeah. Totally. It was great to meet you, Roctavia. Thank you so much. We had so much fun.
It was wonderful meeting you both too.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, thanks again for checking out Rock News UK. I am Roctavia Rose, and stay classy. I can't use that, can I? Nope.
You can do whatever you want, girl. Whatever.
Have a great night out there, everybody. We love you. Mwah.